Hey everybody, I'm Tim and today I'm here to crush your dreams. And you're watching Cigars Daily. In this video, I'm smoking the Alec Bradley Prensado because it's exactly the kind of cigar you'd want on the shelves of a brand new cigar shop. I am making this video in part because the Cigars Daily staff has asked me to, and that's because we get a lot of calls from people who want to open their own cigar shop, which is really cool. We love the passion you guys have for cigars, and anything you're doing to take that passion to the next level is exciting to us. And I've gotten to speak with dozens and dozens of people that want to do this, and today there's a half a dozen shops or more that have opened their doors with our help in one way, shape, or form. And so I wanted to give you guys some of that info in a video so that you can hear what I tell people when they give their first or maybe even their second phone call about opening a new shop. That way you guys have got some information if you're just getting your toes in the water. But I gotta tell you up front, I consider it part of my job to piss in your Cheerios and tell you exactly what you're getting your hands into. So before I give you those pertinent details to start a shop, here are some warnings about things you should know. Opening a brand new shop and lounge for premium cigars is a lot of fun. It gives you the ability to do something that not a lot of people get to do these days, and that is provide a place for people to come in and have real community. We've lost that in a huge sense, especially in America today. I've seen cigar shop lounges be a better place for people to get to know each other than church or the barbershop or the coffee shop. It's incredible what a good conversation a cigar lounge will do, but running a lounge is a pretty pesky thing to do. There are a lot of ins and outs to it, and some things you should really be concerned about. The first one is there are always people trying to cut your legs out from under you. This is something I've seen in the cigar world over and over again. In most other industries, if you were going to open up a shop, you would have real competition there. People would be doing things to try to get your customers and take them away. And even though in the cigar world, we're kind of all in this boat together, that sense of competition still exists. I'd be lying if I didn't tell you there are cigar shops whose managers work proactively to try to make things harder for us here at Cigars Daily. It's just sort of part of the way competition goes, but that's all normal business stuff. When it comes to owning your own cigar shop and lounge, there's even more that comes at you. There is always the threat of some government agency, whether it be federal, state, county, city, that is trying to limit some portion of your business. A lot of the times these places are trying to increase taxes to make the reality of buying cigars less accessible for people, or they're going to be working on actually outlawing certain products that you want to carry. There are counties and cities and states all over the place that have put out new legislation to try to ban flavored and infused cigars, or to try to ban smoking altogether. You're seeing this stuff start to happen in some places like areas of California. In Beverly Hills, they've outlawed the sale of tobacco, but they have exempted a couple of tobacco shops. But you kind of always got to be ready for that. Somewhere, somebody's looking to drop the hammer and take you out. But then even outside of government or legislative forces, there are groups of people who are against what you do just because it has the word tobacco in it. We all know that there is a difference between the risk associated with cigarettes and the risk associated with cigars. I'm not saying the cigars aren't bad for you. Certainly there's a health risk there. But at the same time, people are going to paint you with the same brush they paint all other tobacco with. So you're going to have groups of moms and stuff like that who are coming after your business. They want to see your lights go out and never turn on again. So when you get into cigars, you got to know that you've got like an army of enemies in front of you and people are trying to take you out. The next warning I want to give you has to do with the cost of doing business. If you're going to open a cigar shop, you are going to be selling a regulated product, which means the cost of business just goes up a little bit. And it's not an astronomical amount, otherwise nobody would be able to open a cigar shop, but it's certainly something to consider. Things like if you're going to take credit cards at your cash register, you can find that the credit card processing rates can be a little bit higher than they are for other non-regulated companies. At the same time, if you're going to insure your place, keep in mind you're filling it with dead, dried up, rolled up leaves. And if you're shipping them over the internet, you're also filling a building with cardboard boxes. It can make that insurance piece a little more complicated to handle. So all of these relationships that you have with third-party vendors who are servicing your business are things that you got to know. These guys are going to have they're going to give you a second look before they really want to commit to you, because what you do involves some risk, and they know it. And the next big red flag to pay close attention to before you put your business plan on paper has to do with where you're going to be located. That's the big deal in brick and mortar sales. Location, location, location. But for you, a would-be cigar shop owner, you got to consider what that location will be. It's a pretty narrow set of space. First of all, you can't just put your shop anywhere, because if you're going to have a cigar lounge, there will be smoke, and there are some people out there that don't like the smell of smoke. And so it's best to try to find a standalone building and not get yourself into a strip mall where you're going to have neighbors on one or both sides. Now, there are a lot of cigar shops in strip malls today, and plenty of them do just fine. The danger is if one of your neighbors who you were good with moves out and somebody else moves in, like somebody who sells, I don't know, cat hotels, and they don't like your smoke and they start complaining, that can cause real problems on your property and in your relationship with your landlord. So it's something to consider. Where are you going to be? Also, a lot of cities have ordinances for where you can put a tobacco shop. Some of them say you can't have it near a church or a school, so make sure you understand the laws in your county or your city. And those are just a few of the roadblocks in front of you. If any of my friends who own cigar shops are watching, maybe you guys can drop a comment down below with some of the other roadblocks that exist for cigar shop or new cigar shop owners. Now, if you're in that position of thinking about starting a lounge in your town, here are some things you need to know. Up front, there are 3 things I regularly tell people that you'll need to have before you can even begin thinking about doing business in the cigar industry. You see, this industry is incredibly relational, and because it's regulated, it's incredibly tight-knit. So people who work at cigar companies won't share their information like pricing or how to open an account. They're not going to share that with just anybody. They kind of got to get to know you first. And in order to build trust with those people, there are some things that you just flat out are going to need. The first one is probably the most obvious. Money. You have to have money to open up a cigar shop. And truly, the amount of money that you're going to need is dependent entirely upon your business plan. There are a million different ways to do this cigar shop stuff, and there are a million different price points you can use to open your lounge. You can do a really posh lounge and spend ridiculous money on furniture and wall mounts and junk like that, or you could be a little simpler and get more affordable furniture, and you want to have a bigger stock in your humidor. Whatever it is and however your shop is set up, you got to decide how much you're going to spend to get the doors open. Once you have some money because you got an investor or a bank loan, or you're independently wealthy and weird and rich and it's awesome, then you're going to need a commercial lease on a retail space. This is important for a couple of reasons. Number one, for cigar manufacturers, they cannot ship directly to consumers. They can only ship to a licensed retailer, and that would be you. You're going to need a retail shop where they can actually ship cigars and you can sign for them and then receive them. In addition to that, you're also going to need a tobacco license for your state. And this one is different in every single state. No 2 states really seem to do this quite the same. In Arizona, if you want to get a tobacco license, it costs like $25 and it takes a week to get. If you want to do it in California, it's I think it was like $1,200 and it takes 6 months to get, or something like that. It's definitely a different standard depending on where you live. So you got to know what the laws are in your city or in your state for having a cigar lounge. And in addition to that, you got to jump through the hoops and cut the red tape in order to get that license in your hands. But once you have those 3 things, money in your account and a place that you can have a cigar shop and a license to have cigars sold there, then you can start laying the foundations for your relationship with cigar manufacturers. And that's a relational thing, so you're going to want to try to track down some reps or call the manufacturers. Many of them have their phone numbers on their website, and then you can start up conversations there. And because this is relational, when you open up accounts and start relationships with a few cigar makers, it will make it easier for you to open accounts and start relationships with more cigar makers down the road. A big deal here is make sure you protect your relationships with your manufacturers. They are your lifeline and your supply source, and you want to make sure you have a good relationship with them, not just so that you can get the product, but also so you can throw amazing events and get people amazing deals on great cigars. And so there you have it, just a few tips on getting your doors kicked open with a cigar shop, and I hope that I didn't rain on your parade too much with some of the warnings, but I'll tell you, those warnings and all of the red tape and the red flags, if you can get through all of that stuff, it's really going to provide you with a huge sense of accomplishment once you actually do this. If I look back at Cigars Daily and what we've all accomplished here, a lot of it was done through just grit and determination, and if you've got that, then I don't think you can fail. And I'll tell you, if you've got a cigar shop out there, or you've owned or been part of running a cigar shop, please drop a comment down below. Give people some heads up on the things that really worked for you or the things that didn't work for you. And if you're thinking about opening a cigar shop, put your questions down in the comments too. I'll do my best to grab as many of those as I can, because truly, I get excited to see people open up a brand new cigar shop in their neighborhood. And I want to thank all of you who support Cigars Daily. It means the world to our family here. If you haven't done so, please subscribe right here on the channel for more of the best damn cigar content online, and flip on notifications so you know when we're coming out with new videos. Thank you all so much for watching. This is Tim, signing off for Cigars Daily, and I will see you in the comments.